everybody. Welcome to Off the Bounce. Back again for the second season. Here we go. We're going to start right off with this first segment. It's called the Weekend Walkthrough. So, recap what happened last weekend. So, really, when it came down to it, last weekend some teams rolled and some teams rolled over dead. That's really how it is. You got the top four teams that really just rolled. The biggest win of that was number 1 Alabama played number 22 Texas A&M, and roll tide, 45-23, huge win. Their quarterback we'll talk about later in one of the other segments, Tua Tagovailoa, did amazing. Went 22 of 30 for 387 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and tacked a rushing touchdown on top of it. So he's doing great. Looking really good. He's in front of the Heisman race. Like I said, we'll talk about him in a later segment. Now, there were some other teams didn't do so hot, but barely snuck it in. You got number 5 Oklahoma. They barely survived an overtime win against Army. They're in Oklahoma, in Norman, Oklahoma, and they won by a touchdown in overtime. Shouldn't have been that close. They dropped to number 6 in the rankings. I think that's appropriate. Maybe even further. Who knows? You'll have to listen to the other segment of Dylan's top teams. But as far as the game, they shouldn't have been that bad. I'm sure they overlooked them. We'll see how Oklahoma does going forward. Another really close one, and a little bit of controversy in this one, was number 7 Stanford playing against number 20 Oregon. So this one, Stanford was down 17 points, and part of their comeback was a non-touchdown by Oregon. Oregon had a run. They went in. Guy knocked over the pylon in the front of the end zone. They first ruled it a touchdown. When they reviewed it, they said no touchdown. So a little bit of controversy there. Touchdown was taken away. 3 plays later, as Oregon's still trying to punch it in, the snap went over the head of the quarterback for Oregon, and then Stanford picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. So that started the comeback. They end up tying it, winning in overtime by a touchdown. So they got lucky, but we'll see what happens this next week when they play Notre Dame, much bigger game. The other team that barely won a scare was also in the top 10, number 10, University of Washington. They beat unranked Arizona State 27-20, but it was a real close game there, and it was not looking good for them for a little bit. So we'll see how they do moving forward against number 20, BYU, this next week, much tougher opponent. Now, this weekend, there was a lot of upsets. Number 13, number 14, number 15, number 17, and number 23 all lost. So number 13, Virginia Tech, was beat by Old Dominion. Yeah, Old Dominion. When was the last team that Old Dominion beat that was any good at all? I don't know. It's probably been a while. But Old Dominion, who was 0-3 coming into the weekend, beat number 13 Virginia Tech 49-35. So, good day for Old Dominion. Also, number 14 Mississippi State got whipped by unranked Kentucky. Unranked at the time. I believe Kentucky's number 17 or so right now after this, because Kentucky improved to 4-0 after this game. But Mississippi State lost 28-7. Like, just absolutely whipped by them. And then you had number 15 Oklahoma State, and they got beat by unranked Texas Tech, who's now ranked also. Number 24, I believe, or 25, something like that. And that one was 41-17. 41-17. Oklahoma State got beat by Texas Tech in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So that's a rough loss, especially against an unranked team. Texas Tech's ranked now, but at the time, unranked. Oklahoma State ranked. Not so good. And then another good, solid game was unranked Texas. Played well, beat number 17 TCU. That was 31-16. And the big thing about this is TCU had won the last 4 games. So Texas hasn't beaten TCU since 2013. Texas is now 3-1. I think there's a good part of their coming back to prominence in not only the state of Texas, but the Big 12 and football as a whole. No matter if you like them or hate them, college football is better when the Longhorns are good. When they're not good, college football as an overall product is not as good. That's how it is. Then the last upset of the week was Boston College, number 23, so low end, but still top ranked. They're 3-0 coming into it. They got beat by 0-3 Purdue, and Purdue beat them by a score of 30-13. So that was the weekend. There's a lot to go through. Stay tuned. There's going to be some more videos coming up soon on some other segments. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.